Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into episode 4 of Love Island Games. And let me tell you, this was a good episode. No, it was a great episode. We didn't have any major challenges to the end, but it was just very messy, very chatty, tea being spilled left and right. My type of carrying on. But before we jump into this recap, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode breakdown. And also don't forget to watch my other videos to help support and grow my channel. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the episode kicks off with goodbyes. Charlie has been outvoted by Kendall and he's now leaving the villa. Kendall and Garby, they're ecstatic because they were saved by the Islanders' vote. Particularly, Kendall was saved by the Islanders' votes. Kendall admitted that he would have rather went home instead of Garby. And they talk about how they need to lock in, they need to focus, they need to prepare themselves for the next challenges. And Kendall's already worried because he hasn't won anything yet. It's still early, but I can understand the sooner him and Garby prove themselves, the better it is for them. Chris and KK, they're having a conversation. KK feels sad and disappointed that Charlie went home, but she had to stand behind her girl Garby and support Kendall so that way he didn't go home. Chris is doing that thing where he stares at the person he's talking to, says a whole bunch of sweet nothings. No action.
What? It's like looking at you.
Y'all know how Chris functions. So next we have Nicole and Isaiah. They're feeling good since they won their first challenge against Justine and Charlie. She likes him, but I can already tell he's probably not going to be on the same page. The conversations that he has with Solin are way different. And I feel like when he's talking to Nicola, it's like the younger sister vibes. Then we cut to Tyreek and Johnny. The narrator, Ian, is so funny because he's talking about Tyreek and Johnny have the same taste in girls, but not the same taste in fashion. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm happy that Ian brought this up. Tyreek and his fashion, Tyreek is not a fashion guy. One thing he gonna do is give you a do-rag, a hat, a black tee, some baggy jeans, and that's it. Like, just very minimal, very, very low effort. Meanwhile, you have Johnny over here with a fuchsia blazer. And also, side note, Tyreek, I believe, is 26. Johnny is 27. I feel like Johnny looks like a hard 35. It's just crazy to me how they're literally 1 year apart. One has like a solid, I wouldn't say Tyreek has a baby face, but he looks his age. Johnny looks like an elder millennial. So Johnny and Andriena, they sit down and they have a chat. She's just opening up to him about her real feelings about the challenge. She just lets him know that she puts on a front. She's not as confident as she appears. So essentially, it's like a defense mechanism because I was a little confused because she does give very confident main character energy, but that challenge mollywopped her. So I can see why she's feeling down in the dumps. She continues to say that she likes how Johnny leads her and she could feel that she can trust him and they could be a solid team. He's just giving her supportive words of encouragement. But I'm not gonna lie, there was some times I was looking at him and he was like listening. He was being attentive, but I know in the back of his mind, I was like, girl, can we wrap this up? Johnny talks about he came in like a superhero and he was able to pull her out the dumps and now she should feel like a champion. Then Andriena said that this is a modern day love story. Listen, these two Delulu corny birds, they can stay on my screen. It was a cute scene. They look good together. I'll give them that. All right, so this part is a little messy. Tyreek decides that he wants to confess to Chris and let Chris know that him and KK had a chat. They both express to one another that they're still open. He's interested in her. She's interested in him. And then he slowly confesses that he kissed KK. I feel like Tyreek was trying to show a little bit of emotion and empathy and regret, but honestly, that man don't care. I think it's kind of interesting that Tyreek said that KK came and found him, but did she? As the audience, we don't know what they edited out because they already showed them sitting in the bathroom. Did she come find him? Did she not? It could be true. It could be a lie. We don't know. He's definitely making sure to put that little detail in there that it was more of her to come find him than the other way around. Now, if he's lying, that is manipulation and stirring the pot at its finest, and he knows exactly what he's doing. Chris's response was, Chris is not going to give us much. Tyreek just wants to tell him out of respect, and he doesn't want to come across as sneaky. Chris appreciates that. In Chris's confessional, he says, oh, that's why I preach focusing on the game and I'm not here for love. Okay, Chris, I see what you're saying. But at the end of the day, you're giving her all talk and no action. So I'm going to need you to step it up. So as everyone's getting ready for bed, what do you see Chris do? Chris immediately runs his mouth to Josh and tells him what happened. Chris hops in bed and I'm just looking at the vibes and the energy between him and KK. He looks disappointed. I can tell that's going to bother him for the rest of the night up until the next morning. So it's the next day, it's breakfast time, and Chris cannot keep a secret to save his life. Instead of pulling KK and having a conversation about what Tyreek told him, as soon as he sees Andriena in the bathroom, he immediately tells her that Tyreek and KK kissed. I think it's interesting and a little strategic that Chris is trying to position himself to try to get ahead of the story, but really he's kind of stirring the pot. He should have just had that conversation with her first versus going like, it's a little messy. So next we have Kendall and Garby. Garby and her cute news anchor hair. They're just talking about random things, and then she brings up that she hasn't been intimate yet and she hasn't found the right one, and 110% respect her for that. Kendall actually handled it very well, no judgment, just giving her the opportunity to share. Very mature about it, so good on his part. So next we have our friendship couple, Tyreek and Lucinda. They're chatting. She's talking about Mert. He's talking about how he likes KK. He's not locked in with Andriena, but he's still open. She wants to know if his head is completely turned from Andriena to KK and if he ever actually would go back to her. He admitted that it's not 360. It's a 180. He's still attracted to her. Lucinda lets Tyreek know that Andriena kissed Johnny on their date, and Tyreek had no idea. So I already know he's going to use this information and keep it in his back pocket and bring it up when the time is right. So next we have Isaiah and Nicola. They have a chat and ask her what are things between them. And she's like, romantically? Between me and you? I mean, he didn't kind of word the question like that, but he kind of set the bait. So, oh boy. All right. So anyways, I don't even know why he's asking and kind of positioning it that way, because we know he's not feeling her like that. Anyways, she asks about their connection. Then they go cueing the sad music. He said he doesn't want to lead her on, which I definitely respect. But you could see poor Nicola, her face just drop. She actually likes Isaiah and she sees potential past them being a friendship couple. They might end up sending someone in for her. But I must say, I am not falling for the, oh, poor Nicola trope like we did with Amaya. And you see what that got us. I really like her. I like her quirkiness, but no sympathy votes. We are focusing on games and challenges. That's it. At the end of the day, if Nicola cannot find a romantic connection, then girl, you better focus on the money. So next we have KK and Chris. Chris immediately brings it up to KK that Tyreek did let him know that Tyreek and KK did share a kiss. She's clearly pissed about it because she wished that Tyreek didn't go run his mouth and she was in the position to tell Chris first versus hearing it from another person.
It sucks you heard it from somebody else and not me.
And then she's even more annoyed because now she found out that Andriena knows about it before she had a chance to speak to her. And I noticed in that conversation that Chris didn't say, oh, I told her. I noted that he said, oh, she knows. So I like how he left that up for interpretation. So Chris said that he wants to still move forward. He just wants her to be transparent with him. So Andriena and Ty, they go for a chat. Actually, it's not a chat. She's about to confront him. Immediately, she's like, did you kiss KK? She's not upset that Tyreek explored. I think she's more upset that Tyreek ended up kissing KK right after the duel. Tyreek admits that it looked bad, but he didn't plan on doing it. Then he tries to soften it like, oh, she came and found me. Speaking of KK, did KK really go find him or just adding sauce? I don't know about that one. I'm a little skeptical. So Andriena is definitely giving him the side eye. Tyreek ends up flipping it back on her and calls out her hypocrisy. You're upset at me because I kissed KK, but you kissed Johnny on a date, which is fair. It's still messy. Her face was a little cracked. I don't think she expect for him to find that information out. She ends up saying on how, oh, that's different. Between me and Johnny's different. He's like, that's double standards. Listen, I already predicted these two were going to crash and burn. And I got a question for Andriena. Andriena, did you watch UK season 10? I know you guys DM'd one another, and I know you had to get on the Googler and do some research. And you didn't watch his season? I'm sorry. Tyreek is a menace, and Andriena, I like you, girl, but I can't feel bad. Do your research. But at the end of the day, these two are done. The ship has sailed. The cookie has crumbled. Now we have Chris and Justine. They go to Soul Ties. He talks about how he's a lover boy and he's feeling Justine's competitive energy. He used that same line that he did with KK, saying that Justine intimidates people. I mean, there's no lies there, but I'm just waiting to see if another girl comes in. If Chris is going to use that same line for the third time. Oh, you intimidate people around here. Justine admits that she is competitive. She's here for the games and money. Would it be nice to meet somebody? Yes. But she's focused on the prize. So KK pulls Andriena for a chat and they just clear the air. There's no hard feelings. She's not even mad. And KK admitted to her that she finds Tyreek to be fun, flirty. She doesn't really know if something is there, but she's just having fun. Then this menace Tyreek comes up out of nowhere saying, can I pull you for a chat? He apologized to KK. She wants to know where his head is at. He said that he wants to be with someone that's intelligent. He wants to be in a couple with someone where there's romance and there's intelligence, and that's why he's attracted to her. And then KK said, okay, but if someone new comes in the villa that can compete better, then that's going to leave me in a vulnerable situation. She said that she feels secure with Chris and lets Tyreek know that she just wants more energy and consistency from him. Don't say a whole bunch of nothings. Actually back it up with action. I find it very interesting that she said that she feels secure with Chris. But if KK only knew that Nicola is Chris's backup plan, telling Nicola that he fancies her. I fancy you. Huh. All right. So, Ariana got a bus in the villa with the new outfit. Very cute. That denim jewel situation, whatever. Very cute. So Toby is now a new bombshell straight from the UK. He was on Love Island UK season 7. He was on All Stars. He was on season 1 of Games as well. He finds out the prize pot, $250K. Oh, he is smiling. I see this. All teeth grinning, eyes smiling. He's ecstatic. So the girls line up and he gets to choose he's going to be in a partner with. He ends up choosing Andrea. I was actually surprised that he didn't choose Justine. I'm surprised he didn't choose Justine, who's actually single. Now because of what Toby did, Justine and Josh are in a couple. And honestly, I'm not mad at that. That's a good combination. They're both strong competitors. They're already friends outside of the show. So these two can be a dangerous pair. So now it's time for the first couples competition, and that competition will lead to a public vote. It's like a relay style game. There's 2 rounds. 1 round is with tires. The couple has to align themselves with tires. Girl has to balance water on top of her head. They got to run for the container. Whoever fills the container first wins. Again, I don't know who'll be coming up with these games. Second round are like hurdles. Same setup, but you just have to crawl or go under this barrier so you can deliver the water. So for Heat 1, KK and Chris, they dominate. They win. Kendall and Garby, who I was actually rooting for them, they came right behind them. I can't believe I'm saying I'm rooting for Kendall and Garby. Oh my God. I'm rooting for Garby, but damn, Kendall. Anyways, they came up second. So I already know they're going to be safe. So for the first heat, second round, Chris and KK end up winning again. For the second heat, Justine and Josh win first round, and then Mert and Celine end up winning the second round. The overall power couple was Chris and KK. So unfortunately, Chris and KK were put in a tough spot. Chris and KK have to sit down and figure out of the safe couples, make them unsafe.
And make them vulnerable.
And throw them to the wolves so they could potentially be voted out. Again, why they decide Kendall and Garby are too safe, too well liked. They don't want to make enemies there. They definitely talked about Josh and Justine, but they think that it's too early to come at them, which ends up leaving Solin and Mert. So they end up picking them to face the public vote. If I was them, I would be so upset. Having all this water dumped on your head, you gotta go these tires, you gotta crawl, and then you fill it up and you win, and then you have to be left to face a public vote. I'm sorry, it's looking a little scammy to me. All right, so that was the end of episode 4. We're going to find out my next episode who is going to go home and not have a chance at $250,000. They got to wave it goodbye. But anyways, thank you again for watching my Love Island recap. make sure to check out my other videos. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 should be up right now. Episode 6 should actually be up. I had to re-record this video. So if you see me wearing the same thing again, just mind your business. Okay? All right. But I appreciate you for just hanging out with me. Again, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.